It's been a while. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. It is Jesus Reads. Long time no see. I am doing the booktube newbie tag, but a new version of Jesus. A new version of Jesus Reads. I've been gone for 2 years, but I am back. So you can throw a tomato at me if you want to, but also, like, look at my outfit. Who want to throw a tomato at my outfit? You know what I mean? Hello, everybody. It is Jesus Reads. I just finished studying at San Francisco State University, earning 2 degrees in sociology and race and resistance studies. And I moved back into my parents' house here in Los Angeles. And I thought, what a perfect way to come back to BookTube, back to my channel, than that small life update. Why did I start this channel? I felt really lonely a couple years back when I actually did start this channel and talked about my health issues and how reading saved me and how reading helped me escape the world that I was living and the current reality I was living a couple years ago. But now, after passing through that, achieving goals, and finally in a good place in my life, I decided to come back when I felt the best for BookTube, and here I am. What are some unique things I bring to my channel? The thing I bring is me and my experiences and the books and authors that I want to uplift and their voices and communities. One of the main things for me is uplifting and advocating for BIPOC authors, specifically Black and Latinx LGBTQ authors. That is the experiences and the livelihoods that make my channel and this content unique, as well as doing some little essays, some critical videos, video essays, like comparing literature and pop culture, and using my sociology degree to use. What I'm most excited for is just talking about my love for books, and hopefully you reach out and comment, have a community. We can key, we can laugh, we can giggle, we can disagree with tomatoes, but light disagreeing, and just having a good time and filling up spaces. That's what I'm very excited for. Why do I love reading? I love reading because, one, it helps me escape my current reality, what I used to experience, but now I just love reading for the fun of it and opening up these worlds and being immersed and eating up lore. Because one thing about me, I love lore. I'm like, I eat up lore because I love fantasy books. But also, I'm kind of messy, and so I love messy books, and I just love getting like engulfed into books and just reading and having the fun of it and talking about other people and being like, did you feel about this? Did you like the character? Did you love that character? Why so? That is why I love books, because it's just a fun way to, one, have yourself immersed in the experiences, but also reading about people's livelihood experiences and connecting it to yours, but also just having the fun of reading books and forming communities through the same interests and hobbies you have. I think that's just so beautiful and powerful to have. And for me, that's also why I love reading books. I started reading at an early age because I was in ESL, English Second Language. I was also in English Arts Enrichment because I had trouble reading and writing. And so one of the main things that we talked about is reading and working your way up through reading. And so that's when I started to read. But I didn't really get into it until one book, actually 3 books. I lied. It was Diary of a Wimpy Kid, The Dork Diaries, and the Winx comic. I still have my original one. One second. Again, it's one of my most prized possessions. Yes, yes, it's from Scholastic. And it also has the trading card of Bloom on the back. Like, this is my most prized possession. As well as my paperback conditions of the Diary Wimpy Kids and Dork Diaries. But yes, so I love that. I started reading in middle school and high school, primarily for ESL classes and English Arts Enrichment, because I was in both. And so one of the main requirements is to build up your reading vocabulary and reading skills by working your way up by different grade level books. And so I started working my way up through books and building my vocabulary and speaking better. Sometimes I do mumble. So if I'm mumbling, be like, Jesus, you're mumbling, girl. I'm like, oop. And I'll fix that. But that's why I started reading. It wasn't until after when I started community college in 2018, 2019, that I really just started love reading. One of the main things for me was the lack of representation in Latinx, Latin-E, Afro-Latinx authors. And so I didn't really feel like a community or feel seen or felt heard. But now here we are in 2026, and there's so many Latinx, Latin, Afro-Latinx, Black authors and their stories. And I just felt so immersed and so loved and felt seen for the first time. And so that's why I would love reading now, because it feels great to be seen and to be heard and relate to characters that look and act like you, especially being Latinx and LGBTQ. And so, again, what book got me into reading, like back into reading, is, I don't know. I can't I have a pea-sized brain. I think it would be what got me back into reading the first book I read. The first book that got me back into reading after I stopped for a little bit was actually manga. It was actually Beastars. Okay, me, I think this is like very yaoi coded. Okay, I feel like, listen, I feel like Beastars is very yaoi coded. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so what got me back into reading was Beastars. These are kind of old. They're kind of yellow. This is kind of old. But what got me back into reading was Legoshi. I don't know. Like, I don't know. This got me back into reading is manga, specifically Beastars. And after that, I was like, let me go back into reading. You know, before you had to pay like $20 flat rate for your Amazon Gold card. Now you have to pay like monthly, whatever. I used that. So I got like a huge discount. This was like 2019, 2020 before the pandemic. So I got all of these with a good discount, because before you would go on to Barnes and Nobles, they'd give you a card, a gold card. They're going to pay $20. Was it 20 or 40 or 50? I forget. Flat rate fee. And you just using, you got discounts on every book you got. But now there's like a stamp and everything, and they changed it. But that's what got me back into reading. Long story short, what kind of books I like to read? Now that I've been reading for like almost 7, 8 years back into it, because I'm 27, um, it has changed. It has changed. At first, I was reading mostly YA because, I was a young adult, but now I'm still a young adult, but, I'm gearing up to 30. I'm 27. But before, it was mostly YA and fantasy. But now I'm getting into like more things. So primarily more I read is just like fiction, young adult, and like romance books. But like not like spice books. I'm talking about like messy romance LGBTQ books. To summarize my books, I just read LGBTQ literature. So maybe manga, it may be fiction, it may be young adult, it may be romance, it may be mystery, it may be horror, with an emphasis on LGBTQ folks of color. That is what I primarily read. So I might dibble my toe on this, dabble my toe on that, but it's mostly LGBTQ authors of color and stories. I think it's very important, and that's what I love reading. Where do I read? I used to live in San Francisco in my apartment for 2 years, but now I'm back home. I usually just read on my bed or like my patio or the backyard or the living room with my family. I just read. So that's usually where I read now. What does my book collection look like? Again, I'm very proud because this has been years of building authors of color, LGBTQ authors primarily, like Black and Latinx LGBTQ authors. To summarize my book collection, I like to emphasize it's an emphasis of me. All I've been through, all that I read, all my interests. When you look at my bookshelves, they're very diverse, they're very LGBTQ focused, BIPOC focused, manga, pop culture, Sailor Moon, Yuri, Sailor Moon, Yaoi, and then all the other books. This is my own version of curating my own bookshelf, personalizing my books and my taste to me. I also have like a big like box to my left. That's my academic books and more books that I read. I just love my bookshelf. It looks so cute. Like, it looks cute. The last question on the booktube newbie tag is like challenges to overcome. Can you hold my hand real quick? Because I feel like we get to know each other. I feel like we're intimate. Thank you. The challenges to overcome is I'm a slow reader. I can finish like 1 or 2 books a month. I don't like, if you read like 20 books a month, more power to you. I love you. But for me, I like to engage in books and like to get themes and like take my time with those books. It's like very intimate, it's like one-on-one, like, us right now, one-on-one, or in a group. Hey, I just like to take my time, and I can't read multiple books at once. My brain is like, we're not doing that. But if you do that, I love that for you. I hope you welcome me back into the community. I know I went ghost for 2, 3 years. But I had to complete undergrad, okay? I have 2 bachelors, you know, I'm a scholar. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you like my outfit too. Comment my outfit below if you like it. If you don't, tell me why. But thank you for watching this, and I'll see you in the next week's video. Bye.